Greetings. If you like these daily crypto analysis videos, hit the like button and subscribe. Please share these videos with your friends to help the channel grow. I'm Crypto Snake, back again to discuss some Bitcoin analysis. So today I'm going to start out on the 1 week chart just to cover the SAR here. We actually have started downtrending on the SAR here with these two dots here. It doesn't necessarily mean that we are actually going to downtrend hard here, but it's definitely a bearish sign that it is going down. But obviously it's not showing as much momentum as this fall here. And as you can see here, we actually have been wicking down on the 1 week all the way down. It's a lot easier to see on the 1 day chart, so let's go ahead and switch to that. The 1 day chart, look at the size of this manipulation wick here. Let me just zoom out for perspective here. Last big wick like this was a couple weeks ago. Wasn't nearly as bad as this. Pure manipulation, just straight up and then straight back down. So one thing I want to discuss today is I did extend this bear flag here out, that we could potentially be hitting this bear flag, but it could also potentially be negated. Right now the technical analysis is kind of all over the place, somewhere in the middle, somewhere a little bit slightly bullish. This could be due to this obvious manipulation pump here and Tether printing money. Tether, of course, is the USD backed cryptocurrency that basically tries to match the number of coins to the number of US dollars in circulation to keep it at a flat rate of $1. Now the problem with this obviously is that Tether has never actually been audited on the amount of coins that they have to prove that they actually do match to the US dollar. So that's why they're able to pump in just $250 million out of nowhere and just throw it into the market to cause a Bitcoin spike like this, along with the BitMEX situation that I brought up last video and how that caused a lot of shorts to be canceled, causing this great manipulation spike up to around the 6,900 area, give or take. So as I said, this manipulation has actually caused a little bit of bullish sentiment here on the technical analysis. I'm not sure actually how much weight to put behind this bullish sentiment, but I will point it out either way. The Kijinsen here on the 1 day actually has started inclining pretty heavily. As you can see, this is mostly caused by this candle, but it is actually a very bullish sign that we could be coming for a TK crossover if this Tankinson actually drops down as well. But the aggressive incline on this obviously was caused by manipulation candle here. Now in order to actually break up into a nice bullish pattern here to start moving up, we do actually have to break through into this cloud here on the Chiku span right here. We'd have to actually break through this resistance here and start moving up through the cloud. Now this cloud also offers a lot of resistance all the way up, and this is going to be very heavy resistance up here. So I don't see that being likely, but assuming that this manipulation candle caused a little bit of market FOMO, that could happen, or it could just be a false positive here messing with the technical analysis. But if we go ahead and take a look at the Heiken Ashi here, you can actually see that we were, up until this point, actually still removing money from the market until this random hit here of green. So I do actually expect this to continue downwards. I think this is just really messing with the technical analysis here. So I'm still leaning fairly bearish here. Also down on the RSI here, you can actually see that we have been continually testing this channel, hitting up at around 45.5 give or take, and bouncing down. So I do expect another bounce down here and more trending sideways before another breakdown. If we go ahead down to the 4-hour time chart here, you can actually see that we do actually have a bearish TK crossover here. But again, as this manipulation candle spiked up and then spiked down, it really threw a monkey wrench into the technical analysis here. So we were actually still in a downward TK crossover here, but the Chiku span was within price, still within price. So these TK crossovers don't mean it nearly as much right now. But the SAR is still downtrending here in a bearish pattern. And I do still believe that we are, in lieu of more manipulation and more tether printing here, we are due for another breakdown. But if we have another manipulation scenario like this, I think we could also break bullish if it causes enough people to FOMO in. And that's basically their goal with this, is to try to get the market restarted and get people into the market. The problem is when you make it look as obvious as this, a lot of real, actual, true investors actually get scared and stay out of the market because they see these giant spikes and just know that if they're trading with leverage, they're going to get liquidated. So it actually keeps a lot of money out of the market. Now the RSI here actually has started upticking more on the 4-hour here. It's still kind of in the middle. It could go either way. And if we go ahead and take a look at the 1-hour chart here, we do actually have a TK crossover, bullish TK crossover forming here, which could lead to a little bit of a pump rising here. But the Chiku span is also moving into price here. So it's likely in the short term that we probably are going to go up a little bit and continue our side trading movement here I don't see us breaking out of this channel anytime soon. On the 4 hour, you can see this a little better that we've just been side trading here pretty much effectively. I think we're going to continue side trading before breaking down. Although I will say a potential bullish pump is slightly more likely than it was yesterday. Before I move on with the rest of the video here, if you would like to join my free Telegram for insights on the market, including Bitcoin, altcoins, and a sneak peek to my personal entries and exits, join t.me/cryptosnakebit. Links are in the description below. Also, instructions on how to download Telegram. Also, in our VIP group, we have been capitalizing on Bitcoin sideways movements, pulling 25% so far on ZRX, 20% profits on WON, 7% on Game, and 10% on ADA. If you want information on how to get into the VIP group to be part of these trades, the information is also in the description below. So I really want to get onto the news here today. This article is really important. The SEC rejects nine Bitcoin ETF proposals. They basically did a blanket statement on all of them here, basically stating that the exchange has not met its burden under the Exchange Act and the Commission's rules of practice to demonstrate that its proposal is consistent with the requirements of the Exchange Act Section 6b-5, in particular the requirement that a national securities exchange rules be designed to prevent fraudulent and manipulative acts and practices. So what does this mean? This basically means that the SEC struck down any sort of ETF on cryptocurrency because they believe the entire market is too heavily unregulated and full of way too much manipulation. And of course, as you can see, if we go back to the 1-day chart here, rightly so. The fact that two independent entities, BitMEX and USD Tether, can work like this to actually manipulate the market and push it up $300, yeah, I'm really not surprised that the SEC made this decision, and I'm not surprised that they made this decision a day earlier than they had stated. Coincidentally, the same day that we got this massive manipulation candle here, going both up and then back down. I actually find it kind of ironic because BitMEX, which is the leveraging exchange that allows you to trade the exchange's money in place of your own, basically screwed themselves and screwed the entire market here out of these ETF confirmations. Now, I'm not saying they're the entire reason that the ETF was rejected, but it's kind of ironic that you see this giant manipulation pump here, followed by the SEC saying that the entire market is way too unregulated and just full of manipulation, because they've been doing this, you know, basically all throughout Bitcoin's history. You can see these Bart Simpson candles here, 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 just moving the price so heavily. So what does this mean overall for Bitcoin? Well, so the fact that they rejected all 9 of the smaller Bitcoin ETFs pretty much sets the sentiment for the future ETF proposal, which is supposed to be set for next month. And if we go back to the 1-day chart here, a couple streams ago I did lay out that it was a possibility that if we got the ETF next month to get approved, we would likely see a pump. However, with the precedent that they set on these ETF right now, I don't see why they would rule that the ETF should be confirmed if they deny all of the other ETFs, basically citing that the entire market is too full of manipulation. So I do believe the large ETF that was going to be proposed for Coinbase is actually going to be rejected. And I'll cover what that actually means for Bitcoin's price. We are still relatively at the bottom of Bitcoin right now, so I'm not sure how much that's going to affect it. It's definitely not going to affect it positively. The main aspect of this ETF proposal not happening is that it means that Bitcoin won't pump. Now, I do think it will suffer a minor dump here from the loss of consumer confidence. The fact that an ETF proposal can't be approved and a government entity is saying basically that it's unsafe, unregulated, obviously is going to funnel some money out of the market, which could lead to a minor dump here, along with the trending dump that we're going through. So it's definitely going to just compound onto that to drop the price down again into that 8,850 to 8,500 area that I marked out previously. But I think most importantly is that it's not going to pump. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing either, because as I said in the previous streams, this pump here, both up and down, absolutely just destroyed the altcoin market. So an ETF pump again would basically do the same thing over. So hopefully we get a nice natural trend here back down to the prior trend line and continue back up naturally without any sort of pump and dumps on Bitcoin. So this is actually really good news for the altcoin market. Now we just need to break out of this channel here in either direction, either up or down, to actually really see some movement on the altcoin market. And if we go ahead and take a look at the altcoin market right now, you can actually see that it's basically just been sideways trading, you know, -4, +2, a couple outliers here, Bitcoin Diamond, always manipulated. 4% here, 1% here, etc. The altcoin market is kind of stagnant right now with Bitcoin. If we go ahead and take a look at the Bitcoin dominance here, you can see that it's at 53.47. It's basically plateaued right now around the 53, 54 area. And we do have heavy resistance at the 54 area, which we saw before, which caused a little bit of a spike down and a nice little boom in the altcoin market. So hopefully we bounce off that again and get some nice gains on the altcoin market. If we actually look at the market cap, it really hasn't moved at all. We're at 209 billion. I believe that's the same as the previous video. But another thing I want to address here is some more bearish news here. China seeks to block access to 124 foreign crypto exchanges. If you're in the crypto trade, you know while you're watching your altcoins that pretty much every day around 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. EST, etc. The Chinese market basically wakes up and there's almost always a nice little pump on a lot of altcoins because those traders come in. So China seeking to block access to a lot of these exchanges basically means the amount of money from China and from Chinese citizens pumping in will basically be gone. And it actually could make a lot of smaller coins actually either disappear, get delisted from those exchanges, or basically just have no movement on it. So China already blocks access to Binance, OKEx, and Bitfinex, which are some of the largest exchanges, but a lot of the smaller exchanges are actually very highly populated with Chinese citizens. So the fact that they're getting rid of and blocking access to a lot of these foreign crypto exchanges is not good for a lot of the smaller, very micro cap altcoins that have a lot of Chinese investors. And it also may cause a nice panic dump. If they do in fact block these, a lot of those Chinese citizens will seek to take a lot of their money out of those exchanges, which could cause a massive flash dump on a lot of these very, very small microcap altcoins. So overall, the market conditions right now are leading me into very, very bearish sentiment. I really think this news is really bad today. China blocking things, the SEC basically rejecting the ETF proposal. None of it is good news. Definitely not massively good news. And overall, it actually makes me a little worried for the crypto space in general. So I do think we are definitely going to be heading back to this trend line soon. That's just my overall sentiment right now. Please make your own decisions on this. This is not financial advice. But in my personal opinion, I do believe that we are going to break down before we break up, regardless of what this bullish sentiment is today on the technical analysis. So before I wrap this video up, I just want to say good luck on your trades this week. Please join me in my free Telegram at t.me/cryptosnakebit, where I give up-to-the-minute updates on Bitcoin and my personal exits and entries for the private VIP group. Also included is our private VIP chat, where you can chat with many of our experienced savage traders, get personal technical analysis from me, and answer any questions you might have. This is Crypto Snake, signing off.